Good morning. I thought today we could have some DMCs together because I feel like you know me super well through a screen, but like you don't know the me, like the inside me. I just feel like it'd be really nice if we can just kind of go from here to like here with each other. I know some of you guys have already given me some questions that you want me to answer on my Insta stories. Thank you so much for sending those in. I didn't even know which ones to pick, so I picked like a handful. I'm starting off a little bit light, then we're gonna go all in, we're gonna go heavy, we're gonna go deep, and you're gonna really get to know like the worst side of me. I don't know if it's the worst side, it's the real side of me. There's no worst side of anybody unless you're like a bad person, and I don't think any of us here are bad people. I think everyone really is a good person. So yeah, let's get to it. So I'm gonna pretend that you've just walked through my door, and I'm gonna pretend that you've come over for a cup of tea, cup of coffee, hot chocolate. That's you knocking on the door. Oh hey, how's it going? Is this what I usually do when people enter? Would you like a tea, a coffee, hot chocolate?
Okay, so from here on in, my voice is going to be you. Yes, I'd love a hot chocolate, please.
Hot chocolate, great. I'll have a hot chocolate too.
Oh my God, this is so ridiculous. But please go along with it because it's kind of funny as well.
I'm so sorry, the squirty cream just didn't go very well today, but this is your hot chocolate. A little bit of cream. Not really a cream person, but I do like a bit of cream. Do you feel like actually having coffee with me or hot chocolate with me? I hope so. I want to feel like I'm having hot chocolate. I actually kind of do feel like you're here having hot chocolate with me. There's genuinely like a hot chocolate just there, and there's you just here. This is so nice. I've never had such an intimate conversation with a camera before. Okay, let's assume we've done all the niceties.
What's your go-to drink on a night out?
Gin and tonic with elderflower cordial is so delicious. I literally love it. Or gin and ginger ale, but I can't have too many of those because they are a bit sweet, but yeah, gin and tonic. Slimline tonic if possible. We've got to watch our calories. I say that as I eat a hot chocolate with cream.
Did you go to private school?
I went to private school when I was younger, but then for my A-levels I just went to a community college. I mean, there is a huge difference in the amount of work that you get. When I was at private school, I used to get so much work. I genuinely didn't go to sleep until like midnight because I was doing so much homework, and I did an after-school club every single day. When I went to college, I was like, oh my God, I have so much free time. I did Pilates every day. I taught myself an A-level 6 weeks before the exam. I taught myself statistics. Am I that much of a nerd?
Your first kiss, how did it happen?
This is so cringe. So basically, it happened, I think I was 15 years old or something like that. Maybe I was a bit younger. 14, I don't know, something like that. And it was after hockey practice. This is so cringe. It's after hockey practice, it was like really dark because it was winter, and he kissed me like on the corner. There's a hockey pitch like this and then it's a road, and he kissed me on the corner, and I remember walking away and I was like, that was the weirdest thing that's ever happened. Like the concept in my mind of putting two lips together was just super weird. And I walked away and I was just like, I don't know if I'll ever do that again, to be honest, it was too weird. So yeah, that was my first kiss. Clearly wasn't the best. Sorry to whoever it was, you know who you are. I hope you aren't watching this.
What's your biggest regret?
I don't know if it's my biggest regret ever, but like one regret I've had recently is Lewis Capaldi was literally standing, I don't know, about as far away as that piano is to me right now, like super, super close. I genuinely just did not have the courage to say hi. Like I just didn't know what to say to him. My mind was blank, and I was like, I really want to say hi, I really want to go up to him, I really want to chat to him because I just think he's really funny, and obviously I really like his music, but I just felt too awkward to be like, hey, I'm Mia, I really like your music. And now I just wish I'd just done it. Like I just wish I had just accepted myself as a fool, just so I could have been like, oh hey Lewis, how's it going? And he could have been my friend. We could be friends right now, yet we're not, because I just didn't have any balls. I had no balls. Oh, this hot chocolate is really hot. I did put a marshmallow in here somewhere. I should put 2 in. Hope you're enjoying your hot chocolate too.
When will I feel awake again? It seems like weeks since I've had a great sleep and woke up fresh.
Honestly, you have no idea how much I feel you. I have not wanted to get out of bed on so many occasions. I've just felt so tired. I always set my alarm for 7 o'clock every single day. Recently, I've been snoozing it, and I never used to snooze. I kind of blame George for the snoozing. I was never a snoozer. I was a get up and go as soon as my alarm's gone off kind of person. Some days I just can't get out of bed. And do you know what it is? I think if you have something that you're really excited to do and really excited to get up for, then you never feel tired. You just don't feel tired because you're too excited to go and do it. So maybe you need to find something that you feel extremely like passionate about, extremely, you know, I don't know, like you really want to wake up and you can't wait to get started and doing it. Then you won't feel tired. You will literally want to be waking up. You'll set your alarm earlier, in fact, because you're so excited. And I think that's the only way in which you can feel like you've rested, because I don't think any amount of sleep will ever make you feel rested. I have definitely tried to sleep for like a day and I don't feel any more rested. I mean, granted, I don't often try to sleep for a day because I like to wake up at 7 o'clock every single day. But I have thought if I have a really big sleep, then I won't feel tired anymore. Not true. No. Tired is a state of mind, I think. It could be a state of mind.
What's been your biggest challenge that you've had to overcome?
Okay. This might surprise you maybe, but I get really bad social anxiety. Like, I've had really bad social anxiety ever since I was like a kid. To the extent where I would cry before school every single day. I would cry after school every single day because I didn't want to go to school. I didn't want to see people or speak to people. Like, genuinely, it was so bad. I had an epiphany at 10 years old. And I said to myself, I was like, Mia, do you want to live your life like this? Because you can't go on like it anymore. It got to me really, really badly to the extent where I was quite depressed in myself. And you know, when you, okay, this is clearly a sensitive topic because my words aren't coming out and I'm glitching. Okay, I had really bad social anxiety when I was younger, to the extent where I found it really hard to wake up in the morning because I just didn't want to wake up and I just wanted everything to just be gone and calm and peaceful, and basically I just didn't want to be alive. Okay, right, I've said it. Basically, I got to a point with myself where I was like, you know what, you either don't live or you live, and if you live, you don't want to live your life like this. And I was like, no, I don't, so I need to change something. And so I did everything I could to try and get rid of my social anxiety. I treated it a little bit like a phobia. So I read loads up about it. You know, if you're scared of spiders, try and put yourself in situations where there's loads of spiders. I tried to do that, put myself in loads of social situations, and honestly, it sickened me. Like, I felt so sick, so nervous, so anxious. And I used to try and think, why am I nervous? Why am I anxious? What is worrying me? What's the worst that could happen? Didn't know the answers. I just knew I felt that way. Anyway, tried really, really, really hard to get rid of it. Obviously, didn't get rid of it because you can't get rid of it. But you can manage it or you can work better with it. And now I'm so much better. Like, I actually enjoy meeting people. I've found that my problem is like the transition between being alone and not with anyone to being with everyone. Like, once I'm in a social situation, I'm super fine, I'm super chilled. I actually really love it. I just don't like going from a non-social situation to a social situation. That's what I find really tricky. And I don't know why, and it's really annoying, and I think I'm just born that way. But I do love social situations. It's very confusing.
Don't mind me, this is just my editing look. Cute, huh? I also do this weird thing where if I'm like really anxious or nervous or know I'm going to be nervous about an event, I just won't think about it. Like, I literally will not think about it until I'm practically leaving to go out the door to it. Because then I'll still go and I won't worry, and it actually makes me feel much better. So yeah, that's my coping mechanism. I don't think at all. I literally have like an empty brain.
So anyway, I'd say that's the biggest challenge I've had to overcome, because it's been really hard. It's not been easy. And you kind of have to keep working at it, but I don't know, if you really want something, I think you can make it happen. It's like mind over matter. This is getting deep. I really feel like you're getting to know me a bit better. I'm unleashing my inner self to you.
How's the career change going for you since quitting your job?
Okay, so to the average Joe, I would say, oh my God, it's going so great. I'm actually having like the best time. It's like the best thing you could ever do. In reality, I'm gonna be super frank, I'm gonna be super honest. It is quite hard. It's emotionally hard, mentally hard. I think one of the biggest things, well, I literally go back and forth on this all the time because I'm so confused. Because I really loved working for a company. I love working with people. I love having like a common goal that we're all trying to achieve together. As soon as you start working as like an influencer, content creator, everything then becomes about you. And that's really, really difficult. It's so much easier to do things if you're looking at it from like a third party perspective. Whereas when you're looking at yourself, it's so much more difficult. Think about how you criticize yourself. Yet if your friend said that, you'd be like, oh my God, no, you're beautiful, you're amazing, you're so great at this and this and this. It's literally like that, except you are your own product. So I am my business. I am the product. People talk about you in front of you as if you're like a thing, an item. And that's kind of really hard to kind of get your head around. And then you're constantly comparing yourself. I genuinely love the feeling of being inspired by other people, but it can make you feel like you're bad, or you're not very good, or you're not very inspirational, or you're not like giving back enough. I think for me, it's really important that I give back to my followers, to my subs, because I don't know, I just care. Like, I really do care. And sometimes it's really hard to know what everyone wants because everyone wants different things. And when you've got so many people that you're trying to please, it makes things really tricky. It's a minefield and there's no one to like go to. My dream would be to have like a group of us. Like, I want a group of creatives who we can all work together, bounce ideas off, create content together. That for me is my dream. And yet now I just feel sometimes a little bit lonely. I'm gonna say it. Sometimes I'm lonely. I love the work I do. I just wish I had people to do it with, I think, is the bit that I'm getting at. Yeah. So it's really great and I love it, and I love working with the brands. I think that's because I get to do something positive and I'm working with people and I'm doing something really cool. I don't really know, like I debate whether I want to go back into like a 9 till 5 or not. And then sometimes I'm like, no, I definitely don't want to. There's so much I can do in golf. I'm just being insecure for a moment. So yeah, it's really difficult. It's hard to think highly of yourself. I think we all get that.
I did not mean for that to sound like I don't enjoy what I'm doing. Oh my God, I love golf so much. I love working in golf. I love the industry. I love everything about it. But what I do mean is I think I just miss having colleagues, like friends to go to work with. At the moment it's winter, it's a bit quieter. I loved the days in summer when I was working and meeting all of these new people, which is mad considering my social anxiety. I'm literally the definition of an extroverted introvert. Look it up. But yeah, I just miss having friends at work.
Do you feel like you have enough you time that isn't geared towards work or social media?
I think you always have that like underlying sense of needing to do something when you work on social, and you're like constantly working at this kind of rate, and then you'll have random times where you literally work loads, but you never stop. Whereas I'd say 9 till 5 jobs, this is chill, work, chill, work. Whereas in social media, it's like kind of work, loads of work, kind of work, loads of work. So it's a little bit weird, and it's really hard to give yourself a moment to just relax and chill, because you always feel like if I'm not doing something or going forward, then am I going backwards? And that's a mind f***. So I'm starting to try better to relax a bit more, to not worry so much if I can, and just do a little bit every day and just keep doing what I do, not stressing myself to do too much, because I know I do that. I definitely feel like I need to be building cities in a day, which I don't need to do. I can actually just live a normal life. Because I always question this to myself. I'm like, what would make you happy? What would you be doing where you would be super, super happy? I'm like, now. Doing this makes me super, super happy. So why aren't I super, super happy? And it's just that pressure you put on yourself. I genuinely just think it's like, it's your head thinking, you need to do more, you need to be better, you need to do this, you need to do that. And it's like, no. When actually, you can just do what you want to do, and there's no hard deadlines or anything. You make your own deadlines. If you want it to be done next week, you can get it done next week. But if you want to give yourself a bit longer, give yourself a bit longer. The other difficulty is the fact that social media is usually your outlet for just chilling and relaxing. So when I'm on social and using social, I use it as like research. So I'm like thinking, oh, that's a great idea. Oh yeah, that's really cool. It's kind of like if you're in like, I don't know, production, director, films and stuff. You can't watch a film anymore without thinking, oh, that's a really good shot. Oh, that's a great idea. And it kind of takes your mind in a different place. So social media is really fun. I really love it. And I think it is really cool and it has so much good to it. But also it's a very confusing world, and it's very hard to switch off from it if you work in it, unless you completely disassociate with tech, full stop, for like a week, which I don't think it's going to happen.
What would you do if you weren't with George?
Okay, well, Firstly, I wouldn't be doing what I'm doing now because I am a super square. I'm about as square as you get. I have about 0% risk appetite, and I never do things that I really want to do or I'm really passionate about because I'm too scared of the risk associated. Okay, I'm gonna be honest with you, I've always been quite financially driven, and the reason for that is because I have this underlying fear in my head of being homeless, of not having a roof over my head, and I need to know in myself that I have A, enough money so I have a roof over my head, and if I quit my job for a year I would be able to pay my rent, and B, if I ever needed to get home, if I was anywhere in the world, I could be in Australia, I could catch a flight and go back to my family immediately. Like, they're the two things that I worry about, and that's what I need money for, is those two things, which is really weird when you think about it, but for some reason that's just the way in which my brain has been built. So if I wasn't with George, there's no way I would be doing what I'm doing now because he gives me that extra bit of security.
Because obviously social media is so much more unpredictable than a 9 to 5 job, and like your pay fluctuates depending on the month and depending on what you're doing.
And I know you're not meant to like rely on another person to do it, and I don't actually rely on him financially in anything. It's just the fact that if anything did happen, I know someone would be there for me and I'm not alone. So anyway, he basically has given me a 1% risk appetite, which is very cool. But yeah, if I wasn't with George, I'd probably still be a product manager, but hopefully I'd be working in a place like Google or Facebook or Meta, whatever they're called now, and doing some really cool stuff there. So
Would you ever play around with a fan?
okay, yeah, so I definitely would, but like I said to you, I get a bit of social anxiety, and so I would kind of want to know a little bit about the person before I went off and play golf with a random person, because there are weird people on the internet. There are really nice people, but there are like a couple of odd weird people. And there's some people that I've spoken to quite a lot, and like I definitely would go and play with them because I feel like I've built a bit of a connection. Whereas the ones who I'm a bit more distant from, I think I'm a bit like nervous because I just don't know who they are. So yeah, I mean, I definitely would. I just want to chat to them before I go and meet with them and play with them. Is that weird? I feel like that's fair. I'm not against it. You know what I actually do love is when I meet people out and about and they say hi to me. Like, that is literally my favourite thing ever. I love it when people come and say hi. And I would definitely, if I bumped into someone and they came and said hi and they were like, oh, do you want to play around with me? I'd just probably say yes because I've kind of met them and I know who they are. And yeah, it's just really nice. I really love bumping into you guys. So if you ever see me, definitely please say hi because I'm socially awkward. And if you come and say hi to me, I'll definitely say hi back. But I can be a little bit shy and a little bit like, I don't know, in my own world, away with the fairies, you know what I mean? Help me by approaching me.
When/what age did you get comfy in your own skin? Confidence, being okay with others not liking you, etc.
Okay, this is a deep question, isn't it? Because if I'm being super honest with you, not until recently, very recently, I don't know if it's gonna sound crazy to you, but I struggled a lot with being part Asian. Just because I went to a white school and everyone's white and all you want to do as a kid is fit in. And when you're different and you look physically different, yeah, it's quite hard. It's really difficult. And, you know, kids mean. And it makes you feel ashamed of being who you are. There really weren't many Chinese people at my school at all. I can think of like one. Other than that, it was me. And I'm like half. And when you're half, it's really hard because people always talk about Asians or they talk about Caucasians. They never talk about people who are kind of a bit of both, which means you never fit in anywhere because you're always a misfit. And that takes some time to get over. I mean, it's not a massive thing when you put it on paper, but like in reality, it's quite big, like a bit of an identity kind of crisis type thing. I don't really know what's going on. But yeah, if you don't really fit anywhere, it does make you feel a little bit excluded. And I think naturally as humans we want to feel included. It's only even recently, I swear, that they've put like white and Asian as an option on your ethnicity. Before it was either white or it was Asian. And I was like, where do I fit in? Moving to London helped massively because there's just literally every single kind of race here. And I love that. I just think it's so cool. You can just see every single type of ethnicity possible. And you never feel like you don't fit in because you all fit in. Everyone being unique is what makes you fit in. And I just love that. I think it's so nice. In terms of not caring about people liking me, I mean, I care sometimes, but not all the time. It depends. If I feel like pretty confident in whatever it is I'm thinking or feeling, then yeah, I'm like, okay, don't like me. If our lives aren't affecting each other, doesn't really matter. They can hate me from their own home in their own space, and that's fine if they're not impacting me. And to be honest, I'm one of those people, it's like, what I don't know can't hurt me, so I'd rather not know. So if you want to talk bad about me, that's so fine, just do it somewhere else, and I don't need to know, because it's not going to benefit me by knowing. Definitely feel like as I'm getting older, I'm getting more confident, I'm getting more comfortable with who I am, and you realise it all comes from you and it doesn't come from other people. When you're like super confident in yourself, you're like, you know what, this is what I like, then you're just like really happy. I mean, for example, if someone asks you what do you want for dinner and your response is, what do you want for dinner? Why are you asking that? They ask you, what do you want for dinner? You just need to be confident that what you want and what you like is what you want and what you like. And the more you do like little things like that, I think you just get to know yourself. You just get to become you, and you get to realise, okay, this is what I like, this is what I don't like, this is me, that isn't me. I mean, I say all the people I like me. And that's kind of all that matters. There's honestly so many people in this world. We really don't need to care. Like, people who don't like you don't need to be near you, and you don't need to be near them. So you can just go off and live your lives happily. It's fine, don't worry about them.
How do you want to be remembered?
Probably as someone who cares. Like, I care so deeply, and someone who does everything from the bottom of their heart, and someone who always does right and tries to think what's best for everyone else. Yeah. I don't know, I'm really not into the whole put yourself first, it's all about you mentality that we've kind of developed recently. Like, I get it, you need to love yourself and have self-care and all of that stuff, but I love caring about other people, and I love helping them and making them happy. Like, who wouldn't? I think it's crazy if you don't. So yeah, I don't know, that's what I want to be remembered for. Worst case scenario, I'll just be remembered for being the mum who loved her kids so much, and her husband. Anyway, I've nearly finished my hot chocolate. I hope you enjoyed your hot chocolate. It doesn't look like you've touched it. I enjoyed opening up to you a little bit. I think it was quite nice to do. You know what, if you feel comfortable and confident enough to open up in the comments so I can learn a little bit about you and who you are, and maybe your biggest challenges that you've had to overcome, or your biggest regrets, or what you do as a job and whether you love it or whatever, then feel free to do so. It'll be great. It'll be great to get to know you, get to know the people who watch me, all 100 of you. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, please give me a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you want to get notified of any new videos that come out. Otherwise, I will catch up with you in my next one. Sending you loads and loads of love.